What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they drop Game 1 to the Atlanta Braves by a score of 4-2. And this game, in my honest opinion, was very ugly for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. One of those reasons is not one of those reasons is Ranger Suarez. I thought Ranger Suarez was really solid today. He went 6 strong innings. Yeah, the command wasn't there, but he still managed to go scoreless. Well, actually, not scoreless because he did allow a moonshot to Austin Riley, but that basically was his only major mistake of the night. Got out of some jams, struck out some batters. Overall, Ranger Suarez, 6 innings, 4 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts and 2 walks, 1 earned on 99 pitches. I would say that's a solid day at the office. He put you in a position to win the ball game. Now, where I look at this is just with the offense today. Offense was not good. They had a lot of chances, got a lot of guys on. They got a lot of hits off of Spencer Strider, but none of those were with runners in scoring position. They had guys on, and they couldn't get their chances home. You get a leadoff double by Brandon Marsh, and none of your guys can drive him home. He gets stranded on third base. Just wasted too many opportunities in this game. Being overly aggressive, stupid decisions once again on the base paths. I have no idea what JT Realmuto is doing in that 8th inning because in that situation, he gets a single, moves a guy over to third base, and then in that situation, you're first and third with a tying run coming up the plate in Bryce and Stott. Instead, JT runs to second base to try to stretch it into a double. Yes, on the replay, he looks safe. I don't care. I don't care whether he was safe. I don't care whether he was out. It was a dumb decision. It was stupid, not fundamental baseball. Because in that situation, you got first and third with the tying run coming to the plate. Bryce and Stott, no idea what can happen at that point. Anything could happen. But you at least get it to Bryce and Stott to try to do something. You don't run yourself into an out. And obviously, he was called out on the play. And on the replay, yes, like I said, he looks safe on the replay. But it's the fact that there was not enough info to overturn that. You knew right there, regardless if it looked safe or not, the umps were not going to overturn that call. It was way too close to even tell. So it's a stupid base, regardless of what the outcome was. It was a dumb base running decision. You ran yourself into an out, and then you get a situation where I believe it was Bryson Stott or Alec Boehm lining out to shortstop, and then JT and Bryce Harper get doubled up on the base pass because they have no idea where the ball went. Bryce Harper fidgeting on the base pass. So it's just mental mistakes. Mental mistakes. Then you get Kyle Schwarber. I believe it was in the 7th inning. 2 outs, and he's bunting. He's bunting. What are we doing? And then Rob Thomson. This is where you really punted the game. Ranger Suarez done after 6 innings. Okay, tied game, 1-1. You go to the back end of your bullpen. You try, the right decision, the most logical decision would be to go to the back end of your bullpen, get your high leverage guys out there in a tie game, and keep it tied to where your offense can possibly eventually squirt a run home. And maybe that's how you win this low scoring game. What does he do? Brings out Jeff Hoffman. And what happens? Braves tack on runs. It made no sense. I'm thinking to myself, why is Hoffman coming into this game? Where are the other guys in the bullpen? I understand you don't have Sir Anthony Dominguez because he's on the IL, but you have other guys in there in the back end. You have Jose Alvarado. You have Gregory Soto. You have guys that you can go to in those situations in high leverage. I don't care that it was the bottom of the Braves order. I don't care if you were trying to steal an inning just because it was the bottom of the Braves lineup. This isn't the Oakland Athletics bottom of the lineup. This is the Atlanta Braves, one of the better teams in baseball. Probably the best team in the National League. Bottom of the lineup. Talk about 2 drastically different scenarios. Jeff Hoffman coming out there to try to steal one against the bottom of the lineup. It's not going to be easy. Why not go to a better possible outcome with maybe a Gregory Soto, with maybe a Jose Alvarado in that situation? Hell, even Junior Marte, because he's a flamethrower. Why not those guys? Apparently those guys were not available. Apparently, I don't think Gregory Soto was not available, but Jose Alvarado was not available. Junior Marte was not available, and Matt Strahm was not available, obviously. I'm not talking about Strahm, though, because honestly, if Strahm came out there, he would have allowed a 3-run bomb, because that's the way Strahm was going lately. But not having Alvarado available, not having Marte available, after a day off, after a full day off, rest, everything like that. Your guys should be available. Your best guys should be available, especially in a huge series against your division rival, the Atlanta Braves. Both of you guys are 13 wins in your last 15 games coming into this. You basically gained no ground in the division because of how good the Braves have been. Basically the same as you. And it's funny because now that you won 13 of your previous 15 games, you lost tonight, you lost ground in the division. And at this point, you could just rule the division out because they were never winning the division. Never. They were never winning that division. But still, to come out that flat offensively and then make those decisions by your manager in a huge spot in a tied game, 1-1 in the 7th inning, to not even give your team a chance to even squirt some runs on. Because if you bring out Gregory Soto, if Jose Alvarado is available, hell, if Marte is available, maybe he gets a clean inning. It puts your offense in a better spot because, yes, they're getting chances, they're not cashing in, but maybe eventually they'll cash in. Maybe eventually in not in garbage time, in the later stages of the ball game, maybe they'll cash in the 8th inning when it's 1-1. And then you come to Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning to close it out. But no, we bring out Jeff Hoffman. He gives up 2 runs, and then here comes Vasquez out of the bullpen, so once again, he goes to a different guy out of the bullpen. I understand Vasquez has been good this year. But in a 3-1 ball game, in the 8th inning, he comes out, and then we bring out Dylan Covey. Vasquez gives up the home run to Matt Olson, and then here comes Covey. Here comes Dylan Covey. For some reason, this guy's still on the roster. And somehow he got the cleanest appearance out of the bullpen. Somehow Dylan Covey was the cleanest guy. Didn't allow any damage to happen. Only allowed 1 hit. Somehow this guy's still on the roster. He's taking a spot of possibly Andrew Bellotti or Connor Brogdon. I get Sir Anthony Dominguez is injured. You have plenty of other guys in that back end that you could have used in that situation, but no, for some reason you wanted to manage their workload after an off day in a huge series. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Seriously, you bring out Jeff Hoffman, you punted the game right there. You punted the game. It's dumb. Not having your best guys in the bullpen available. I just don't understand the thought process. I'm just really confused. I'm really confused that Jeff Hoffman is the first guy you go to in a 1-1 ball game against your division rival, who has also won 13 of their previous 15 games. That's the guy you go to in a 1-1 game in a high leverage situation. I don't care if it was the bottom of their lineup. I don't care. Let me look at their bottom of the lineup, actually. So their bottom 3 hitters, Orlando Arcia, is batting .341 on the year. So, yeah, he's been good. Eddie Rosario, who is pinch hitting halfway through the ball game, he already had a hit up to that point. He's batting .271 on the year, .520 slugging. And Michael Harris, yes, he was bad to start the year, but he's been very hot as of late, batting .249. If you thought you can cheat against that bottom of the lineup, you are sadly mistaken, Rob Thomson. Very sadly mistaken. If you thought Jeff Hoffman and Vasquez were going to get you out of that situation unscathed. Like, seriously. I'm talking so down because that's how I feel after you had a great road trip. You had a great stretch of 5 series in a row. I don't care that you beat the Nationals, the Tigers, the Athletics, because you also squeaked in, beating the Dodgers, beating the Diamondbacks in Arizona, where you struggled inconsistently. Like, that's something to build off of. And then you come into a huge series at home against your division rival. Ranger Suarez, great. Offensively, okay, you're not knocking in runs yet, but maybe when you go to your back end of the bullpen, they come out in a high leverage situation, they keep you in the game, they keep you involved, and then eventually maybe you cash in. But no, you go to Jeff Hoffman. No, you go to Vasquez. No, you go to Covey. Because for some reason, after an off day, our back end relievers are not available. There's no excuse to it. Managing their workload against the Atlanta Braves. They should be available every single game in this series. I don't care. And this is mainly for Alvarado, Marte, all those guys in the back end of the bullpen. Because Soto probably should have been the guy to come out in the 7th. Then you go to Alvarado in the 8th. And then if you get the lead in the bottom of the 8th, you go to Craig Kimbrell. If you go to extras, you go to extras. And then you got to deal with it then. But you have to try to keep the game tied in the 7th. Rob Thomson decided otherwise. Because, no, we want to manage our guys' workload. We want to worry about our guys' arms right now. And yes, in hindsight, yes, that is a good thing. But in this, it looks terrible. It looks bad. It's a dumb decision. Absolutely dumb. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I just don't get it. I just don't. You got 11 hits in the ball game and you scored 2 runs. 1 in the 5th and 1 in the 2nd inning. Kyle Schwarber 2 for 5 with a stupid bunt attempt, and you had a chance to tie the game in the 9th inning. Bryce leads off. I believe that inning would have hit double because Rosario out in the field couldn't make a play. Then you get him over the third base because Bohm barely missed it to right field. Clemens gets him home, I believe. Or if it was... No, it was Clemens. I don't know. Turner 0 for 4. Castellanos 1 for 3 with an RBI. Coming off of his sickness. Bryce Harper 2 for 4. 2 strikeouts. JT 2 for 4 with that stupid stretch to the double. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Bohm 0 for 4. Clemens 0 for 4 with a run or RBI. And Brandon Marsh 3 for 4. He was your best offensive guy tonight. 1 for 12 runners in scoring position. Ranger Suarez was excellent in my opinion. Regardless of his off command, he was still good. He still kept you in the game. He made one mistake, and that was to Austin Riley, and that ball was just crushed. I look at your offense, and I look at Rob Thomson. You don't go to Jeff Hoffman in a 1-1 game. You just don't. You just don't. You just don't. You don't go to Vasquez in a 3-1 game. You don't go to Covey in a 4-1 game. You just don't. It's... And now you got to win the final 2 games of this series. You have to. It's mandatory. It is mandatory that you win the final 2 games of this series. Because I don't want to, go... You win... Yes, you won 5 straight series, and that's great. I don't want to be fucking blue-balled against your division rivals. That's basically what it is, blue-balled. You got all my hopes up, and then you come into a huge series against Atlanta, then New York this weekend. I don't want to be blue-balled, especially in your own goddamn ballpark. I don't want to see that. I don't. I don't care that Spencer Strider was on the mound. You got 8 hits off of him. You got 8 hits. You only worked 1 walk in this ball game now. 12 strikeouts. Strider had 9 of them. Looking at tomorrow's ball game, who's on the mound? Because, oh boy, I feel like I know who it is. Yep, it's Darren Nola. Darren Nola. Boy, I'm not confident in that. Darren Nola, 6-5 with a 4.66 ERA. His last couple of games, 4 earned runs against the Diamondbacks, 6 earned runs against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Then, looking at this, basically, the outlier was the Detroit Tigers game because New York Mets, 4 earned runs allowed, Atlanta Braves, 5 earned runs allowed. He's basically allowed at least 4 earned runs, 4 of his last 5 starts. The outlier is the Detroit Tigers game. And he is going up against AJ Smith Schwarber? I guess that's how you pronounce his name. He's only had 3 starts this year. He is 1-0 with a 2.03 ERA. Young guy, 20 years old. I believe he was just called up. Made his first start against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Only went 2 1/3 innings, unless that was a bullpen appearance. Then I guess his first major league start was against the Washington Nationals. 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs allowed, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then against the Colorado Rockies, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, 2 home runs against the Rockies. It's mandatory that you win. It's mandatory that you win. I'm not confident with Aaron Nola in the bump, though. And then Thursday, you got Taijuan Walker. Hopefully to build off of his past couple of appearances. Against Bryce Hedler. 5-1 with a 2.6 ERA. Another young guy for the Braves. Basically it. Basically it. That's all that's left for this game. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anything else on Twitter from this game? I don't believe there is. Do not believe there is. Bryce Harper says his arm feels good as he ramps up throwing after Tommy John surgery, but he did not get info whether he is playing right field, if playing right field is realistic this season, because a return to the field is not imminent. He'll probably be playing first base, probably some point in the second half, but he's not gonna be playing right field this year. That's not realistic. I just don't understand why 3 relievers in your bullpen are not available after an off day. I just don't get that. It's weird, too, because if you look at like base stats from Bryce Harper, he's batting .301, .393 on base. That's really good. .393 on base. That's almost a .400 on base percentage. The slugging is just really down. The slugging is really down. .423. He's just not hitting for power. I'm not sure if that's anything to do with his arm. I'm not sure if it's just confidence issue. He's finding ways to get hits and get on base. He's still walking. He's still getting hits. It's just the power. The power will come from Bryce. There's eventually going to be a major stretch from him where he goes back to playing MVP level Bryce Harper. And it's fine for people to have those expectations from Bryce Harper because he's an MVP caliber player. Right now, he's not hitting for power, and he eventually will. He eventually will. It's not like he's going to go the rest of the season only having 3 home runs. It's not going to be the case. Just right now, it just feels like it's killing you because, you just want to see more from him. And that's understandable. Very understandable. Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. Yeah, it's still June from him. He's showcasing the power. He's really the only guy consistently to show power in the lineup. Turner, still 244. He's been playing better as of late, but he still has the stinkers. Nick Castellanos has been excellent all year. JT, very high peaks and valleys. Very low peaks. It's like, seriously, very, very extreme peaks and valleys. Bryson Stott has been very consistent all year. Alec Boehm, I would love this. It's the same question mark. Where's the power? Showcased it in the first 2 weeks of the season, and it's really gone non-existent. He did have the home run in Oakland. He could have had 2, possibly more. But it's just that body frame. He needs way more power, and he has it in him. I've seen it. It's just not coming out at all consistently. Brandon Marsh, we all know he was going to cool down from that insanely hot start that he had in April. But when he gets hot, he gets hot. Just what it is. We do have a voicemail here on the hotline. You can leave those at 215-839-9885. Your thoughts and opinions on anything. So let's go to Sean, see what he has to say about tonight.
Missed opportunity. I mean, this game was there for the taking. The Phillies had base runners early that didn't score, and you knew that when the game went to the bullpens that was going to come back to bite them, and it did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Phillies drew one walk in this game off of any Atlanta pitching. It was feast or famine. It was either base hit or strikeout pretty much. Waste of another great outing by Ranger Suarez. I mean, he's pitched his ass off lately, has nothing to show for it. And I think you see that garbage like Jeff Hoffman and Vasquez, when they're out there against a legitimate team with legitimate bats that isn't the Oakland A's, they get exposed. You know, got to win the next 2, because if Atlanta wins tomorrow, even if you win the finale, they still walk away with 2 out of 3. Bad loss tonight.
I agree. Yeah, they did have 1 walk today, Sean, but 1 walk is 1 walk. It's not anything special. I believe it was Castellanos later on in the ball game. But I'm looking at all these chances that they had throughout this ball game. Bottom of the first inning, Schwarber led off with a single. Then Bryce had a 2-out single. At first and second on for JT, and he strikes out, so missed opportunity right there. Bottom of the second inning, nothing happens. Bottom of the third, leadoff double for Brandon Marsh, nothing happens. Bottom of the fourth inning, Bryce Harper leads off with a single, then JT gets a broken bat single, then Stock grounds into that double play where JT and Bryce get tied up between second and third base, and they both get out. So nothing happens there. Stock does steal second base in the Boehm at bat, but Boehm strikes out. Bottom of the fifth inning, you eventually get that run home. Brandon Marsh with a single, Kyle Schwarber with a single. Trey Turner flies out the deep center field, which allows Marsh to move over. Then Castellanos gets the RBI hit. Then Bryce Harper strikes out with 2 guys on. And I believe that was a very long at bat. Yeah, it was a 3-1 count that turned into 3-2. Top of the 6th inning, Braves respond with Austin Riley's moonshot. Bottom of the 6th, you don't get anything happening. Top of the 7th, that's when Hoffman comes out there. Leadoff walk to Arcia. Bad things always happen when you allow a leadoff walk. Rosario doubles when he comes in to pinch hit. Acuna gets the RBI. And here's also, that's something that confuses me too. So, leadoff walk, then a double, 2 guys on. Okay, you get Harris the ground out. Why are you pitching to Acuna? Why are you pitching to Ronald Acuna Jr., one of the best hitters in baseball, with a open base at first? Yes, Ozzie Albies is not an easy guy to double up. But the fact still remains, why aren't you intentionally walking Acuna to try to set up some type of double play? Hell, you can even get the force out at home plate if that's the case. Because Albies eventually grounded out and a run scored. So, what could have been? Bottom of the 7th inning, nothing happens after Kyle Schwarber bunts for some reason with 2 outs. No idea why. Top of the 8th, Hoffman's still out there to start the inning. Then Vasquez comes in to face Olsen. Home run. Then a couple of singles. Gets out of the inning. Bottom of the 8th, Nick Castellanos walks. JT singles, and then he tried to stretch it into 2. Stupid. You could have had 2 on for Bryce and Stott. Anything could have happened in that situation. Top of the 9th inning, nothing happens. And then the bottom of the 9th, Bryson Stott with the leadoff double. Boehm flies out the right, moves Stott the third. Clemens grounds out, scores a run. Brandon Marsh with a 2-out single. And then Schwarber battles into a 2-2 count and strikes out. Really annoying. That's just very annoying. Very, very annoying. Just don't get it. I just don't get it. It really irritates me. Getting blue balled. Now 3 games above 500 after that loss. Standings wise, the Marlins did lose today. Don't gain any ground on, even though I'm not even focused on the division at this point. You're not winning the division. 38 and 35. Braves are 47 and 26. They've won 7 in a row right now, so they're on a hot streak. They eventually have to lose. Marlins finally lost. Mets lost again. Or I believe they're losing. Yeah, they lost again to the Astros. Unless they won yesterday and lost tonight. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not paying attention to the Mets schedule. As of this second. Even though I did talk about them in the last video. Not paying attention the past 2 days. NL Central. I do believe some of you guys in there are talking about the NL Central in terms of trades. Yeah. It's just annoying. Braves are the best team in the National League. 3 more wins than the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yeah, they're the best team in the National League. It's basically bottom line there. In terms of wild card standings, you are 1.5 games out of the last wild card spot. Dodgers control that. Meh. Annoying. I'm frustrated. Just don't understand why your back end of the bullpen's not available after an off day. Makes no sense to me. No sense. No sense. Kind of a loser mentality there, in my opinion. Am I being harsh? No. No. Try to think about that right there. I'm not being harsh. I have expectations. And I expected after a off day that your guys would have been available in a huge series at home. Guess I was wrong. Guess I was mightily wrong. Ugh, goddamn fucking team. Let's get to the chat before we end it off here, because I am very frustrated. Chris, how you doing? I see you join it. Good. I see your Braves fan. I keep forgetting you're a Braves fan. Nice game of 1 of 3 of the series. Was a nice atmosphere to playing for the Braves. Glad to see the Phillies putting pressure on them in the home ballpark. Was a good game to watch. For me, it wasn't a good game to watch. I was very frustrated. JT, yes, JT did not want to stretch that into a double. It was very frustrating. Yeah, don't understand why Schwarber was bunting. Don't get that. Corey, this is how we beat the Padres in the playoffs. Bob Melvin waited too long to put in his closer. Why didn't our skipper learn? That's a good question. These dudes pitch 1 game and are not available. The next is crazy. I don't get it, man. You had an off day. Would say Phillies skipper didn't manage this game at all. Nope, he did not. Yeah, 1 for 12 and runners in score position. Yeah, offense and Rob Thomson lost you this game. Julian, haven't heard you from a little bit. Bryce Harper is 7 for 43 with runners in scoring position, and he does not hit home runs. Turner, I am sick of already. Yeah, Trey Turner, I believe we're just having Nick Castellanos year 1 experience. Over the long course of the contract, will it be fine? Most likely. But right now, we're going through Nick Castellanos year 1 syndrome and Trey Turner, and I hate it. It's been better lately, but still has stinkers. Bryce Harper will hit for power, don't worry, Julian. He's going for a little funk, even though his numbers don't say that. Do you think the Cubs will sell? Stroman's having a great season? If we're looking at the Chicago Cubs, they're currently 3.5 games out of the NL Central, 3 games below 500. They're the only team in that division with a positive run differential. Reds have won 10 straight, though. Interesting. Maybe they'll sell. But if you get to the trade deadline and you're still in this type of position, I don't think they will, just because of how close the Central is and how bad the Central is. I don't know what's going to happen. Why would the Cubs sell Strumia? If the offense would hit, wouldn't have mattered. I'm so disgusted with this erratic offense and Turner, $300 million. Like I said, Julian, Nick Castellanos. It's not acceptable that it's the year one Nick Castellanos again, but that's what we're going through. They need a major traded, not pitcher. They need pitchers, Julian. They need pitchers. This offense isn't working. There's barely any power in the lineup. That's the thing. If you trade for offense, what do you get? And where do you replace it? Because Bryce is eventually going to play first base. So, where are you putting anything else at? Just not to come out. I'm just pointing it out. If the White Sox sell, maybe we could get Luis Robert or Andrew Vaughn. Who knows? Who knows? Infield, there is nothing. Yeah, I understand that. Bohm's not hitting for power. Turner isn't hitting for power. Even though he's not a power guy, he can hit it, get you 20 home runs. And he's not doing that. Stott's not going to fully hit for power. And Cody Clemens is Cody Clemens. He's been solid this year, but long stretch. I understand, Julian. I understand. I understand. I wanted them to win the division too, but honestly, when I was looking at everything to start the year, Rhys Hoskins tearing that ACL, I threw division out of the bank. They weren't winning the division without Rhys. 30 home runs and at least 90 RBI there. But the Braves win tonight, if I'm correct. The Braves can lose the rest of the games versus the Phillies and still have the edge in a head-to-head matchup at the end of the year. No, because they still have 2 more series to play against the Phillies. And the Braves, this is their 3rd win against the Phillies because they split the 4 games. And if the Phillies were to win the rest of every game in the rest of the series, there's 2 more series after this one. No, the Braves would not have the edge in a head-to-head matchup. Braves threw their best options for the bullpen. I completely understand the frustrations. Why? I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. I saw the Phillies have 29 games left against the NL, AL Central teams and 10 more against Washington. Yeah, they do. They do. It's definitely not the Marlins schedule. The Marlins probably have one of the toughest second half schedules in baseball. Just frustrated. I wanted them to win the division for us. I understand that. I wanted them to win it too. I feel that, Julian. I feel it. I'm in the same boat as you, man. I'm just dampering my expectations for that. For another year. Again. It's just unreal. It is. I just don't want to get blue balled. That's all. You got to win tomorrow. And do I trust Aaron Nola to do that? Hell no. I don't. And knowing I say that, he'll probably go out and pitch 8 shutout innings tomorrow. But no, I don't trust Aaron Nola, and I'm not banking on him doing that. He has the ability in him to do that, but am I counting on it, and am I a betting man to do that? No, I'm not that crazy. I am a crazy man. I am known to be insane. Not that crazy. Not to bet on Aaron Nola this year. No, thank you. So, I think that's going to do it for tonight, everybody. Very frustrating night, but hopefully tomorrow will be better. It just amplifies the frustration because I was there. Ugh. Hopefully, better times tomorrow. Bounce back tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. Maybe it will be better. Hopefully. So, it's going to do it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow after this series. Actually, I know with the weather this week. I know the weather the rest of the week is supposed to be very weird. Let me see this. Because I know I'm looking at this right now. But weather-wise, I think it's supposed to be weird this weekend. I'm not sure if it has any impact on like tomorrow's game. I doubt it does. But if I'm looking at the rest of the week, yeah, tomorrow there's no impact. But Thursday there's a 66% chance of rain, and there's a day game that day, and the rain's only supposed to get worse as the day goes along. And then Friday's supposed to thunderstorm badly, so they play the Mets at home on Friday. That game could get canceled. 80% chance, 60% chance. I have no idea how that's going to work, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So, like I said, that'll do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining the streams as always. Don't forget to leave everything in the comment section down below. Drop a like. Check out stuff in the description. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. Let's get that subscriber number to 800. So, also, don't forget to use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. So, thank you